Just going to do a wee video on your new Carado T447. If you just come in the Habitation door here. Now, just over your fridge is your wee control panel. On the bottom left you have a main power switch, a main on off switch, just turns everything on or off for you. On the right hand side of it we have our gauges, water gauges, battery gauges. So when you start at the top we've the leisure battery. It's showing us it's full, 13.5 volts. Next one down is your fresh water tank. It's about quarter full, there's a bit in it. And the next one down is your wastewater tank. It's about half full, we'll empty that for you before it goes. Now in the top right, or in the top left, we have a just a wee lights up when the van's plugged into the mains power outside. We have the lead plugged in. It just so that lights up just to tell you if mains power coming in. Now next over here to the right we have our heating control. Now if I just push this, here it wakes up the wee panel so we can see a picture of the van flashing here. So if I push the little centre button again, this is our heating inside the van, so it's off at the minute. And if I turn the wee dial and just turn it up to whatever temperature you want, say 20 degrees, I'll just push the button to set. So that's our heating on in the van at 20 degrees. We come across to the next one here, we have the thermometer in the water. This is our water heating. So it's on hot there. Normally you turn it on, it'll be on off. And you have 3 settings. You have economy, you have a hot, and you have a boost. We'll just set it on hot here. The different settings, economy be for normal use, washing hands, washing dishes, that kind of stuff. Hot would be for showers. If you're using showers, we switch it on to hot. And boost turns off the heating inside in the van. If it's on, it'll turn it off for 15 minutes roughly and just concentrates on heating the water. And after the 15 minutes it'll come back to heating both the van and the water. Now we just push the wee button again. Now if we come across to the third setting here, the gas bottle and the wee lightning bolts, this is your power source. At the minute it's on gas. We'll just skip through here. Electric 1 is a low power electric, 900 watt electric, and electric 2 is a high power electric, 1800 watt. And if we come back then we've mix 1 and mix 2. That'll be using both gas and electric. And we can see in the top bar here what we're using. If I come back here to gas, we have a gas bottle only. Come up to electric 2 say, push the button to set it. We're using the 2 lightning bolts, the high power electric. The hot water is on and the heating's on. So to turn them off now, we'll just bring this back to gas here. To turn these off, if we go back into the water heating say, select it and just turn this down to off and push the off button. Or if we hold in this round button, hold this in for about 4 or 5 seconds roughly, the whole lot will power down. Next time you turn it on, if we wait for that to go a second. If we switch it on, it'll come back on to the last. It'll not come on till it has to cool down. When you switch it on, hold in that round button for a few seconds, it'll power up and it'll come on to the last settings it was at when it was turned off. So that's your heating more or less. Now down here we have the fridge. Just on the left hand side here we've a power button, so we just push that, switches on this whole touchscreen display. So you can see here the fridge just is on gas at the minute. Every time we push this wee button here, it changes over. So here we're on electric and mains power. Here we have the battery, 12 volts. That only works when the engine's running. That's flashing to tell you there's something wrong. So if we start the engine now, the fridge will run off the battery. We cross now to gas again, and you have A here for automatic. As you hand you a selection, it'll select for you. Because we're plugged in here in the mains, it automatically goes for the mains power. If we plug out the mains lead, it'll change over to the gas itself, or if you start the engine it'll go for the 12 volt. This next wee button here is our temperature control. You can just see every time we push that, so that's up full cold. And this last button, there's a wee heater in the freezer door frame. So if we push that, it turns off the heater in the door frame. And there must have been problems with doors freezing closed or something, so there's a small element in the freezer door. Wee locks in the doors here, if we pull that out, the door will open. The same for the freezer door here. And you just push in that wee button there to power down the fridge. Now go back to your heating, it's turned off now. If I hold in this button here for a couple of seconds, that's it back on, and we can see that the temperature setting in the van is still at 20 degrees. So just turn that down to off, just push the button to select it. That's everything turned off in your heater. Now your heater itself is down here underneath this bed on the left hand side of the van. The only thing I want to show you is this little frost valve down here. There's a wee protection valve for the heater when it freezes. What happens when the temperature comes down about 4 or 5 degrees, that'll turn around there and this little blue button comes out. So to reset that, just turn that across, facing front to back in the van, and push in the little blue button. What you'll notice if that's gone off, when you turn on the tap or you fill the van with water, the water will just run out directly underneath the van there where that is. So just reset it. If it's too cold in the van, it'll not stay in, the little button will not stay in. So just run your heater for a few minutes. Your heater can be run without water. Run your heater for a few minutes. When it warms up, it'll stay in place. Just turn on your taps. Your cold water will come up fairly quick. The hot water has to fill the boiler, so it could take 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes at most, to fill the boiler, and you'll have your water through the whole system again. So that's your wee frost valve for your heater, just under that bed on the left hand side. Now your water tank is underneath the seat here at the table. The only thing we want to show you here is this little steering wheel. That's the wee drain for your water tank. So if we open that tap, say that steering wheel, about 3/4 of a turn, it'll drain all the water out of the van apart from 20 litres. So if you want to lighten for travelling or anything like that, open it 3/4 a turn. Water will just come out directly underneath it onto the ground, and when the water stops, there's 20 litres left, just close it up. If you open it 2 turns, it'll drain out totally, it'll empty the tank out totally. You've an inspection hole over there, that blue lid, and just down in under here is your water pump, it's your wee gauge. So that's underneath the front facing seat at the table. Now your mains trip switches are underneath this side facing seat. You can see them just in on the back wall there. Your fuses are under the 12-volt fuses are under the passenger seat, and your leisure battery is underneath the driver's seat. We'll show you them when we're doing a walk around outside. Now this bed at the centre here, get it down. If we just pull that wee lever across and just give the bed pull down, bed drops down into place, and there's a wee ladder sitting in the back. Wee ladder on the bed in the back there for it, and there's a short ladder for the rear bed. That's that. Now we're going to do a run around outside the van, just to show you. In your cutlery drawer here, this little key is for your waste tank. I'll show you what to do with it outside. It's sitting in that cutlery drawer for when you need it. Now outside the van, I'll start with your awning here. Your awning handle will be in the boot. Sits into that hook there at the front end, just behind the driver's door, and you've a pair of legs on it here. So to pull out the legs, if we slide out the end here and just pull, the leg will release at the front, and we just lower it down. The thumb screw here, just loosen that screw, the whole leg will come down, and use the leg, lift up the awning and tighten the screw. Use the leg to support the awning. I'm just tighten this up here. Use the leg to support it, and we'd normally do that if you wind the awning out till you can reach it fairly comfortably, and put your leg out at an angle and wind the awning over the leg. Use the leg to support the awning if you can. That'll come out there straight out. We go back in, it's similar. If we just loosen this thumb screw, we lift that up, and we'll just lift up. This end just sits in there, and that just drops into place in there, and it'll wind in. Just wind it in till it's closed. In the boot we have a centre rafter there. We centre rafter and 7 pegs just for the legs to hold the legs in position. The centre rafter just hooks in that little thing in the right hand side of the roller above, hooks in there and into this here, just hooks in. It supports the material in the centre of the awning. 2 things to watch with your awnings: not supposed to be out in the rain, they fill with water. You know, if it is raining, recommend wind it in, and watch the winds. The wind will get underneath and blow them across. If it is a wee bit windy or gusty, we'd recommend to keep it in. Now here we have your toilet cassette. Now to release that, we lift up that little blue lever there. Whole toilet cassette will slide out, and we'll just lift it out here where we can see it. To empty it, if you turn out that neck, screw off the lid here. That's a wee measuring cup for your chemical, if you're using a liquid chemical. And just pour it out that spout when it's out. You've a wee blue button here in the back, that's an air vent, so if you push that as you're emptying it, it'll help everything flow out. The cassette just lifts back up into place. Just lift it in, just push it in, it clicks into place. Next back we have our gas bottle. Now our gas turns on and off this tap on the top of the bottle, so if we screw that down, clockwise is closed, just screw it up anti-clockwise to open it. And you've a wee spanner here for changing the bottle. Screw this off here to change the bottle whenever you need to change it. Now back to the boot here. Your carpets are all in the boot, and you've your jack and wheel brace kit in that black box just in the left hand side of your boot space. Now over to the passenger side. That's just into the boot as well, just on the other side. Now this here is the exhaust for your heater. Now in front of the back wheel, just down underneath here, we've our waste outlet, and that little square bar there is where the key in the cutlery drawer goes on to open your waste tank. So you put the key on there, it just turns 90 degrees, just open and closed to empty your grey water, your shower and sink wastes. Now just up here then we have our water filler. Just stick a hose in there, fill it up, water's coming out, it's full. Now just at the back of the passenger door we've our diesel tank and our AdBlue. Now your bonnet pull, just inside the passenger door, just down the side of the dash. And down here at the front seat, if we lift up that little tab, this will come down, and we can see in there we've our control box, EBL box, and there's a row of fuses across the bottom of it. So that's all your 12-volt fuses for everything in the back, all your lights and bits and pieces, heater and all that stuff in the back. Now, under the bonnet we have our dipstick. It's just down the front there, your dipstick for your oil, and if ever you need oil, that's where it goes there. Your screen wash is just this blue lid right in the side, on the driver's side, right in front of the driver. The rest of the stuff here is your antifreeze, your coolant and your brake fluid. if ever you have to jump start this van, the battery is underneath the floor on the inside of the passenger feet. So if we lift up that little cover there, with this little metal thing here, that's for your positive jump lead. Your red jump lead goes on there, and just up in the centre here, that little nub there is for your earth, your black, your earth lead, if ever you have to jump start the van. Back around the driver's side here, just open this. The front of the driver's seat will come down similar to the passenger one. You can see there we've two main fuses for the leisure battery, and the leisure battery is in there underneath that seat as well. Now your radio, you have a switch here for your radio if you want your radio on without the keys in the van. That's your radio on. You have double cameras. Camera's automatic. If you select reverse, the camera will come on for you. A wee button here for the camera, and the second camera for when you're driving. Back to your tuner, sat nav, the whole lot. So just turn that off here. So that's it. So I hope that covers the basics for you. There's a wee page on the table, kitchen table there, and any bits and pieces that are important, we wrote them on it. So I hope you enjoy it.